What's up, everyone? Welcome to KMS Reloaded episode 3. The location I'm at right now, if we hear sirens, I have to jump up, grab this camera, and then hopefully I have time to grab my other stuff. I don't know how long it takes for this place to fill up, but where we're sitting right now, it fills up completely with water. So you guys might be in for a fucking show. I promise I won't edit it out. All right, so I'm gonna do the ads at the top of the show today because at the end of the show, I just wanna do a little recap, just show related stuff. I'll let you guys know when the recap's over, so if you're not interested, you can just sign off. Miltons.com, Milton's a store for men. They got 3 locations throughout Massachusetts. TommyJohn.com, it's /Kirk. And then also support Blind Mike, blindmike.net. Guys, start off the show by recapping Greg. I'm not gonna go too much into it. We've kind of already covered what we thought about Greg. Guys seem like they agreed. Then the guys get into, I guess, Chris Klemmer has got a racist wife, apparently. She was screaming N-words. Not surprised, but I know a couple guys that do landscaping out in New Hampshire, and let's just say, the idea that she's racist, that she hates black guys, that's not true. I've heard it's not 1, not 2, but all 3 holes. Just completely stuffed to the gills. And you got homeboy in the other room worried about the 1995 Mariners. Speaking of cucks, Chris Klemmer, he had some buzz generated about him, surprisingly. He says something that he could use maybe to get a little traction, and instead he just plays the fence, doesn't want to go all the way in. Says something about Albert Pujols. Oh my God, Albert Pujols is a fucking steroid guy? Who would have known? All the baseball writers, they're all pansies. You know, they can't handle anything, just like a lot of these athletes. A lot of them are cheating, a lot of them are on steroids, and you know that it's true. If you find this interesting, next time you're taking a shit, Google MLB steroid testing procedures, then Google the NBA steroid testing procedures, and then Google the NFL's steroid testing procedures, and then compare with something like UFC's testing procedures. And what you find is that in the major 3 sports is essentially a fucking intelligence test. Are you gonna be taking some Turnerball shit that Arnold Schwarzenegger took in the 70s? Or are you gonna be taking some of this high-tech shit that goes down to the picogram? And if you don't know what that is, Google John Jones. That guy was fucking cheating and getting away with it. All these guys are juicing. The size of these men in these sports and how quickly they recover from injuries. Is anybody fooling themselves that these guys ain't all on the juice? I mean, I don't really give a shit. I think if you're punching someone in the face for a living, you probably shouldn't be on steroids. But if you're hitting a baseball, I really don't give a fuck. Then the guys talk about Odyssey failing. There's not much more to say than what the guys already said, but I Googled before I filmed the show. March 12th, 2021, their stock was worth $6.07. As the time of this filming, it's at 53, so great job, Odyssey. Everyone's favorite, Kelly Keys. Apparently she's mad. Someone called the show, asked her for a picture of her. It's such a shock. She's on OnlyFans, and you got guys asking her for that. Dave on the show today said when he was jerking off on OnlyFans, it was work. I better not ever find out that fucking Dave's jerking off to Kelly Keegs. I'm not a Dave. Don't ever do that. So then the Eddie and Barstool show comes up next. If you haven't seen this yet, watch this clip. Watch just Eddie's evil smile on this fucking clip. It's great. Freaking Eddie, man. He's tons of fun. Dave Cullahane, I believe, is one of the pronunciations. Not tweeting from the show account. Dave Cullahane might not be getting paid. So Dave, you can obviously rob this fucking company blind because they're not keeping track of shit. So go on a spending spree. There's one thing about this clip, the Dave Portnoy clip, and I almost didn't want to bring it up. Should I? All right, I will. So look at like the first 5 seconds of that clip. Focus on Dave, crank the volume way up, and just look at him. Something's fucking wrong with this guy, and I'm not even trying to be a prick. I don't know if it's a coincidence. Again, I'm not trying to be funny here. I'm not trying to bust balls. This is serious. Ever since he started dating that chick that he's been dating for a while, again, which is very on Dave Portnoy. I'm not expecting him to be, you know, single forever, but ever since he started dating this chick, you start seeing her making comments about content and shit like this, something that Dave Portnoy would ever put up with. And it's around this time, too, that I noticed that he was looking kind of rough. Is Dave Portnoy, since he's been with this chick, just been on a bender like you wouldn't believe? Just non-stop? That's what it seems like to me. I mean, look at that guy in the first 5 seconds of that clip. You're gonna tell me that that guy is not something different than the guy when you see him doing the pizza reviews? Something's going on with him. I really almost didn't even want to say this. To me, there's 2 Dave Portnoys. There's the Dave Portnoy that's doing the pizza reviews, and then there's this beady-eyed, fucking hoarse-voiced, bottom jaw always fucking moving. There's just two different Dave Portnoys that I see on camera. Like I said, hopefully I'm wrong, hopefully I'm full of shit, but I genuinely think that the guy's got a fucking problem. I feel like it only started when he met that hat. Sorry, Dave. So then Steve Robinson comes up again. He's coming. He's fucking coming. Steve Robinson's coming for you, Dave Cullinane. Not gonna waste too much time talking about that man again. Done that enough. Kathy Cullinane, then, see, oh, fucking Christ. Fucking Portnoy's got me doing it now. Then Kathy Cullinane calls in, drunk, great call. I never said the guy wasn't talented. I just said he was a fucking cockroach, but Kathy Cullinane calls. Fucking Kathy C calls, okay? Jesus Christ. Shit-faced. Fucking Rico Basco's funny, all right? I said it. He's still a douche. The Chris Rock joke comes up. Chris Rock tells a OJ joke. Same shit, different day. Just people trying to use his name for clicks. You just write a story, you have it say, oh my God, look how awful he is. People that agree will click on it, people that don't agree will click on it. For 12 hours, you got like a nice little news coverage thing that you can just recycle over and over again for clicks. Typical bullshit in our media today. Kirk then all of a sudden has the hot take, which I agree with. I don't even think it's a hot take, but many people would disagree with us. Mel Gibson, Will Smith, not even fucking close. Not even close. That's like comparing Kelly Keegan to Rhea. Beautiful, smart. Every once in a while, you know, might say something stupid, great at what they do, and then you have someone who just walks around bitch slapping people essentially and then getting out of the way when it gets too hot. I'm sorry to say, and I probably should have by now, but I have not seen Top Gun 2, so I know this weekend that's what I have to do now because it's gonna come up, I'm sure, again. So I'll have to sit through that awful fucking movie. I mean, I liked the first one when I was a kid. Someone did like a recut of Top Gun on YouTube somewhere, and they turned it into a gay story between Iceman and Maverick. If you haven't seen that, it's pretty funny. You should watch that. So then the guys talk about the Duke volleyball story. I did a little bit of research in this on top of what the guys said because I hadn't heard about it. It was a waste of time. Same shit, just like they said in the show. Same old story. Much like those guys, I've been to tons of sporting events, spent my youth at concerts. Never once have I heard that word used in public, screamed, anything like that. However, I haven't heard that word in any setting really in my entire life. I'm not gonna say that I haven't heard it like in off-color jokes and shit like that. I've never heard that word used at any public place I've ever been in. I've never heard that word. The reason I bring that up is obviously that word's used and I've never heard it. I do agree with how the guys look at that story, how they looked at their previous stories of this similar nature. I completely agree with them. However, it's possible that it's said without me hearing it. I believe that 100%. And then the guys start talking about another aspect of this, which I'll kind of dive into, just kind of the divide. It's one of the things that it's just really sad to see in our society today. We're so tribal. It's built into who we are. You look at politics, media, advertising, basically everything in our life. The modern world has discovered how to use all of our different psychologies against us and basically divide and conquer. It's the oldest method of gaining control and gaining power very quickly, whether you're trying to sell someone, whether it's politics or whatever. Find an issue, split people down the middle, and find the people that don't give a fucking inch. And that's who they go after, and that's what we're dealing with right now in spades. That's why I think shows like the Kirk Minahan show are very important. Sound like Blind Mike, but that's why I think stand-up comedy is really important. Constantly push the envelope and constantly try to push that line always further back. People are gonna try to take that line, and the only reason they care about moving it is fucking money and or power. Don't fall into that fucking trap. It's okay if you don't believe that at the Duke University that someone was screaming the N-word. It's okay that you don't believe it, but don't fall into the trap of becoming the fucking monster you're trying to fight. Because it's very easy. You look at that fucking inbred, incest-loving fucking goofball that you'll never see on the show again, Greg. Talk about a guy that's so fucking hypocritical. Jerry Callahan, same thing. Jason Whitlock, same thing. Speaking of people that you don't really want to fucking talk about, Cockroach Kelly Keegan comes up again. It was the anniversary of a video that made her viral. I watched it, obviously some fake ass fucking video that she had produced, just like all these prank videos that you see on the internet. It's obviously fake. Shake it a little bit, have a pretty face, and that's all you need. But it's not like she's got anything like you know. Anyway, Kevin O'Leary, Mr. Wonderful. I think this is the best KMS interview he's ever done. Again, Kirk's a great interview, but it wasn't even him. It was the guest himself. Kevin O'Leary is just, he's a fucking beast. His show, September 23rd, it's gonna be in the 14th season. I mean, he is so fucking good. He gets it. And it's weird. You can see these guys all across the different aspects of media. You see guys like Kirk, who's good at what he does. Kirk's kind of the shit stirrer. Kirk generates content where there is none. Kirk always brings the buzz to whatever he's doing, and he's great at it. And then you got someone like the complete opposite, Big Cat. Like Big Cat's like the people pleaser, right? But he manages to do it very well. He's really funny, he's really good, and he gets it. And you could just see when he starts to speak, it clicks. Kevin O'Leary's the same way. Dave Portnoy, minus the, is the same way. Kevin O'Leary grew up in a different, you know, time, different world, different family, whatever. I could easily see him being like some fucking podcast host, being really funny, being really good at what he does, no matter what it is. I hope to see him again on the show. Just awesome job. They start talking about Odyssey again. Greg Hill comes up. If you remember a while ago, there was a story about Greg Hill being shit-faced and getting into it with someone. I don't remember if it was a Minifan or just some random person, or if someone called in with a story about it, but I can confirm that Greg Hill, for whatever my word's worth, is a fucking drunk. I used to always go to those AAF shows, and I've probably seen that guy, I don't know, more than half a dozen times, maybe 8, 10 times over the years. Every single time I saw that fat piece of fucking dog shit, he was shit-faced. He thought he was the coolest guy in the room. I remember one time we were at an Ozfest. It was like 04 or something like that. I walk up to Mike Shue. For those of you who don't know, he used to be an AAF, I don't know what they call him, DJ, I guess? I don't even know what the hell you'd call him. Radio personality. So I'm bullshitting with Mike Shue. I'm just telling him how fucking great he is and blah, blah, blah. Just being a wicked kiss ass. And then Greg Hill stumbles over, bumps into us, puts his fat arms around us, fucking big sweaty guts all over us. Oh, Mike Shue was just like, get the fuck away from me. You could just see it in his face, and he's like, hey, Greg. That's Greg Hill for you. He's a no-talent, lying, fat piece of dog shit. He'll be one of these tragedies you'll hear about one day where, oh my God, can't believe Greg Hill died of a fucking coronary at, 57. Who would have thought? And we can all be very upset and not piss on his grave. So next the guys touch on the Riggs Dave Portnoy conversation. If you haven't seen that yet, they tweeted out a picture of a conversation where Riggs was hiring someone new for the podcast. He wrote like a few sentences about it. I really want to hire this guy. Do you want to have a chat with him or anything? You want to talk about it? And Dave just replies, nope. Dave Portnoy just doesn't give a fuck. I wonder why. Jerry Callahan, I almost called him Jerry Cullahane. Jerry Callahan comes up, just a hilarious clip of just the fuck up that is the Jerry Callahan show. What a disaster. We covered it in episode 2. Not much more to say other than he should just hang it up now and call it quits. Poor Jerry. It's hard for me to even laugh at him, it's so pathetic. So then the show moves on to calls. She didn't call first, but Smugsy, like, what the fuck? Like, you're more pathetic than I am. Get the hint. How sad is she? I don't even want to talk about it. I don't want to bring her up just because I don't want to say her name, but it's like, oh, that's disgusting, Smugsy. You're too fucking old, by the way. Fuck off. Pearl Cullinane calls in, and great call. Fuck you, Dave Portnoy, for that Cullahane shit. Now it's stuck in my head. So Pearl Cullinane calls in. That was a good call. I always like the what'd you have for dinner last night Mike guy, and the Trenny call was really good. Other than that, Smugsy and the calls, no bueno. The guys close out the show, and I don't even want to really recap the whole little thing at the end. That to me, again, I said it the other day, but that is my favorite Kirk Minahan show moments. Just the guys riffing about just nothingness, just Kirk playing off other people's stupidity or when they screw up a word. The calls were terrible. The show was kind of derailing. Kirk, like usual, just pulled shit out of nowhere. Just masterful work again by Kirk. I almost called him Kirk Cullahane. I don't think I'll ever be able to get that out of my head now. Then the guys talk about how on Fridays there's an open spot now on the show. I hope you guys fill it. You guys should probably get someone new and interesting. Maybe someone that could make a little noise with some of those people at Barstool Sports. I hope you find them. That's pretty much it for the show today. This is the end of the recap. If you want to continue watching, I'm just gonna go over a couple things this show related, just a couple housekeeping notes for the schedule for next week, as well as to talk about what happened with episode 2. Recap's over. If you want to sign off now, see you later. All right, so for those of you still left, first off, apology about episode 2. Had issues uploading the video. Dave Cullinane, he worked really hard to find a way to streamline the process to make it a lot more simpler for me. Really is gonna save me a lot of time. I am doing something on my end to make the video size smaller. It shouldn't affect anyone's video quality unless you're watching my ugly mug on like a 75-inch TV. And even then, since I'm on a tripod, I don't even think you're gonna notice a difference. Schedule for next week. The guys say they're doing a Monday night show, it seems like, and then a Tuesday morning show. What's most likely gonna happen is I'm gonna recap both shows and I'll try to just squeeze them together at some form or fashion. That way I'm not recapping one show separately and one show separately. Low-key episode, not much craziness. We had Chris Clemmer's wife just getting stuff. You know, Kelly Keegs refused to show that giant gaping labia. Dave Portnoy, my opinion on that. Get well soon, Dave. And I think that pretty much wraps it up. I will see you on episode 4 of KMS Reloaded.
No big deal, no hard feelings. Good luck. Fuck you!